Hola, mi gente. Hope you are doing well. Gonna give it a few more minutes for folks to chime to log into the session. Thank you so much for joining us today at our March PC Power Hour. Today's main topic, is going to be talking about partner college support model restructuring and streamlining our communications and processes. We will be moving away from our relationship manager model and process as the first primary point of contact for you all to connect to with your scholarship questions. And so we're going to outline that today so that you will be able to ask your questions directly to the person who is managing that category of question, and be able to get follow-ups and direct information from the people who are doing that specific type of work. And then we also have some other things that we're going to go into, and scholarship updates. So with all that being said, we'll jump in right into the agenda. And so we're going to kick off this session with our Dreamers Option Network, which is going to be talking about some of the immigration screening processes that we're going to be implementing for our current scholars. This has been going on a little bit with some of our alum. And so now we are going to be expanding that project and really including scholars that are currently on your campus. From that, we will talk about our immigration Q&A session, some additional resources that President's Alliance has, and then we'll have a little brief discussion on emergency cases. After that, we will be talking about some upcoming announcements. Hooray, hooray, our Opportunity Scholarship Awards just went out. We will have our scholarship team talking about that, as well as a session that they're going to be hosting tomorrow evening. We'll give you an update on the STOL request form. And then finally, we will hear from all of the members of our team who will be really unveiling and disclosing the scholarship inquiry map that we are just implemented as a tool for you to identify your scholarship questions and who to reach out to. So with that being said, we will jump into the Dreamers Option Network. So this has been something we've been unveiling for a little bit of time now. The Dreamers Option Network, or what we've sort of conveniently called the Dawn, is our project in really supporting scholars through their immigration journeys, whether that be through employment or through family-based visas. And we've seen a little bit of this. We've been trickling some of this through our previous sessions. If you remember, I don't remember if it was last month or the month before, we had Mission Asset Fund, which is one of our partners, and they were talking about their MIHA app, which is an educational learning tool on how folks can learn more about adjusting their statuses, what are the options is available to them. And it allows them to create a profile so that they could also really track any particular pathway in which that they are interested in and really sort of get those resources and those services. So we are going to be implementing as part of our Dreamers Option Network. This will be what the first step that we require students to do. The app is available to the general public. Anyone can use the app, but we do ask that our scholars really include their app IDs when they use the app, because that will identify for us that they've already created a profile using the app and can move on to the second stage of our DON. Which will be the immigration screenings for current scholars. So we are working with a lawyer who has agreed and has been contracted to do 1,000 screenings for our current scholars. So he will be meeting with students and just doing sort of a immigration interview to help identify if there are any legal pathways for them to change their status. We will be implementing an intake form within the next couple of weeks. We will share that out through the PC Weekly and let you guys know that that's out. So the students will need to, again, have completed their profile in the MIHA app, complete the intake form, and then that information will be collected and we will be able to identify who can sort of fit the criteria and eligibility to go on for one of the screenings with our immigration lawyer to identify that pathway. Adjacent to those screenings, we also have a partnership with Dan Berger, who has been working with us for several years on immigration Q&A. And he will also be doing consultations with some of our alum who have already gone through this process, have already identified a pathway through their employers for an H-1B or other employment-based visa. And their legal counsels. So Don is an expert in this field, and he has made himself available to have these conversations with not just the alum, but the employer and the legal counsel to really help them create a strategy in submitting these requests for changes of statuses through appointment. I'm sorry, through employment. And then finally, as an additional resource, we also mentioned when MOF presented earlier this year, we will be providing immigration loans for those who have identified that there is a pathway and want to submit an application with USCIS. Those application fees can be very expensive. So we will be providing loans through the MOF program for folks to be able to receive that funding upfront, pay for the application fee, and then they will be able to pay back the loan within a 10th month span in much smaller increments. This week, Thursday, we will have our immigration Q&A session. We have an amazing lineup. We have Carolina Castaneda from Immigrants Legal Resource Center. They are the leaders in preparing in family preparedness planning. And they were going to be doing a 15-minute segment on how to prepare a family plan for our current climate and the political climate that we are in. And so this is stuff that families can be doing now to prepare themselves for any emergency situations or anything, any policies that come up in the future. So this is going to be a really great session. We are also going to be joined by Carmen Arce, who is an expert immigration attorney specializing in employment-based visas. So she will be on deck also to answer immigration questions from our scholars and alum in the live session. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with Cheryl Aguilar, who is going to be sort of making a really sort of cohesive presentation here and talking about how folks can talk to their young children, whether that be their own children, younger siblings, nieces, and nephews, regarding the current political climate, everything that is going on, some of the aspects of a family preparedness planning that will involve children. And so they need to be prepared for what is to come and what are the possibilities. Really difficult, hard questions and conversations to have. So Cheryl's going to be really sort of outlining some steps and some strategies for folks to be able to have those types of questions. So again, that is for this Thursday, March 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a series, so the next session will be on April 24th. I wanted to share some information on President's Alliance. They also have some consultations and resources. So they will be also launching their own app, very similar to the MIHA app, to help college students and graduates learn about their immigration options. That is going to be coming up in April of next month. For anyone who is interested in just staying up to date on when that app is launched, you can click onto their D3 listserv. Even if you're not interested on D3 waivers, you can still click on the link and you will receive updates on the launch of their app. You could also visit their Legal Pathways That Work resource hub on their website. I see that my colleagues are already putting in these links in the chat. And so this app is also going to be really useful for folks to learn more about what pathways are available to them. But in addition to that, the users of the app who are either DACA recipients or other undocumented dreamers with a bachelor's degree or higher will be able to request a free legal consultations with one of the law firms that is working directly with President's Alliance for these screenings. Specifically for those who are currently working in a higher education institution. If you are someone in that space, you do not need to wait for next month till the app launches in order to schedule a consultation. For folks in this space, again, working directly in the higher education institution, you can request a consultation now, and you can do so by emailing Caitlin at presidentsalliance.org. So if you're not in that space, you will have to wait for the app to launch next month. Um, but these are all great resources. President Alliance has been a long time sister organization of ours and is doing great work. They have also put together a reference guides for campuses in supporting non-citizen students and populations, both students and workers. So we really strongly recommend our partner colleges to review the guide. There's a ton of information. There are tons of links with other resources on there. If you missed this in the PC Weekly last week, we wanted to make sure that we uplift this information so that you have access to this resource. Um, the other piece that goes along with sort of the immigration piece is emergency cases, right? And so in our current political climate, unfortunately, we are needing to prepare for the instances in which we may have scholars or other undocumented students on your campus being detained. And so we want to make sure that we are providing some tips and creating some protocols for all of us to stay in contact and really support students who may be in this situation and have been detained. So to start off, I think we wanted to just provide some recommendations for what, for these emergency cases. Um, a lot of times you will be the first people to hear this, even before us, as the students are attending your colleges. A family member may reach out and just say, this is what the situation is, we need help. So if you can connect with someone in the family, if you hear about a situation, if a student is not attending classes, and you are sort of aware or just think that this might be the case for them, please try to connect with the family and see if there's a line of communication that can be built out there. The first thing we want to make sure is that the student has obtained some kind of legal counsel. Can the college help with that? Is the family already working with that? If not, please let us know so that we can sort of work through this process and make sure that the students and the scholars are really getting the needed services that they need to really work through these situations and these processes. We want to make it very clear if this situation like this does occur, the TheDream.Us will continue to pay the student's semester's bill for this semester, even though we are sort of halfway through. We do ask that if, when possible, colleges work with the registrars to list incomplete grades for the students, allowing them the opportunity, if so, to come back and be able to make up those grades, make up those classes without getting a withdrawal, without getting a WU that we all know will drop the student's GPA. And so these are some of the sort of quick tips that we want to sort of work through. We will continue to build out a process for this. As we formalize a process, we will keep you informed so that you know how we can strategize on working with students who are in these cases. In the meantime, if you do encounter a case on your campus, please email our Chief of Staff, Susan Collins. She will be sort of overseeing these processes, and once you reach out to her, she will be able to advise you on what the next steps are and inform our team on what resources and what processes we can do to assist in the situation. Now for some upcoming announcements, I'm gonna pass it off to my colleague Jahaira, who actually has really great information to share and really happy information as we move forward with our process.
Yes, thank you, Chris. We're so excited to share with you guys that this last Thursday we sent out the congratulations and winner notifications to 105 Opportunity Scholarship awardees. This did just happen this last week, so we're excited that we're going to have our deadline coming up on April 3rd. So the students do have a couple of days about a week and a half to accept or deny the scholarship. We do encourage our opportunity partner colleges to reach out to the awardees to make sure that they accept before the deadline and just help with any of the admission or onboarding processes that they still have to do to get started with your campus. In addition, our national award announcements are going out next month in April. We're planning for that to happen mid-April, late April, so we'll definitely let you all know when we have that ready to go in an email to all of the new students for them.
Thank you. And I do
Next
also
slide, please. Oh, go ahead.
I did just want to emphasize, this is when we ask PCs to really reach out to the applicants who have been accepted on your campus, just to reiterate that their deadline is coming up and that they need to sort of accept it before that or they would lose the opportunity. So this is when like those calls, like just give them, if you can give them a call or, just sort of reinforce the deadline so that they do not miss the opportunity, it would be really, really great. I'm sorry about that, Diana.
You're good. We will also be hosting an event tomorrow for our Opportunity Scholarship awardees and their families. We're calling it a virtual parent session, and this will be an opportunity for these new awardees to come together and get information about the scholarship, our partner colleges for the Opportunity Scholarship, and also hear from 3 of our current Opportunity Scholars and their parents about what the experience has been like for them. What is it like to move out of state? What is it like to navigate a whole new world as a first generation student in a new campus and away from home? So we really do encourage our opportunity partners to get the word out as you're reaching out to the awardees about this session tomorrow. And you guys are also welcome to attend as well. In the chat, we'll make sure we'll put in the registration link so you're able to sign up if you're able to attend. And again, this is only for our Opportunity Scholarship awardees. If you have any questions, please reach out.
Thank you so much, Zahida. And so to sort of wrap up like our sort of graduation pieces, tomorrow is the deadline for graduation stalls, 5 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. We do need to get this information to our vendors like ASAP in order to be able to get the stalls out to your campuses in time. We've noted your ceremony dates, so we are sort of using that as the timeline in terms of when to get these shipments out. Unfortunately, we are still missing the partner colleges listed here. So if you are on this list right now on the screen, please, please, please click on the Google Sheet. It'll take you 2 minutes, I promise. As long as you know that number of what stalls you need, it literally will take you 2 to 3 minutes tops to fill out this information. So please click the link today and make sure that you submit your requests. Our graduates have been working so hard for these dates, and it is a small token of appreciation and pride that we can give them in providing the stalls and the pins. We cover the cost of everything. Nothing comes to the cost of the college in order for our scholars to be able to wear their stalls and their pins with pride. So please, please feel free to click the link and make sure we get your order by the end of the day tomorrow. So now we're going to jump into our partner college remodeling structure, and we're going to talk about a new tool that we've put together, which is called we've called the Dream.Us Scholarship Inquiry Map. Now, as I've mentioned, we are moving away from the relationship manager role. So many of you who have been OGs with us know that you were assigned sort of a point person on our campus for all of your scholarship questions. And usually that person would manage the entire state. We are moving away from that model because it was not as streamlined as we would want it to be. So in an effort to really become more efficient and make sure that we are answering your questions with the utmost accuracy and also in the utmost timely manner, we are getting away from this model and building out a process where your inquiries can be answered by the person managing that category. So if you have questions about internships, if you have a scholarship management questions, you're going directly to the folks who are managing those programs and those processes on the Dream.Us side and getting the information directly from them. So we hope that this, again, will streamline processes and really improve communications between us and our partner colleges and our scholars. So give me one quick second as I switch screens so that we can view the inquiry map. So hopefully everyone can see this. Can I get a thumbs up? All right, yes, there we go. That's what I want to see. All right. So as mentioned, this is really actually laid out almost like a map, right? And so you will see a navigation tool at the bottom of the screen where you can go in sort of a chronological order from front to back and view each different sort of topic. But you can also click on the individual links and it'll take you straight to that slide. So you don't have to go through the entire presentation. If you want to learn more about immigration, you can just click immigration and it'll take you directly to that slide. So for the purposes of just laying this out right now, we will go in order. And so we'll start off again with the purpose of inquiry mapping. So I just want to make sure that we're being really clear on this. The map does not answer your questions regarding the scholarship program. That is not what the map is about. It would be like an entire globe map in order to do that, right? So basically what this is, it just outlines the type of questions that we most frequently see in these different categories so that you know who to contact on our team with your questions regarding that category. So with that being said, we are going to start off with our scholarship management team and really look at the scholarship tool. And so with that, I will pass it off to the lovely Elena, who will go through this slide.
Hi, everyone. As always, thank you so much for joining us. As we just try to streamline everything and get as much information to you as possible. So for starters, for the scholarships, as y'all have heard over the past several months, like back in October when we brought Yahira on, my team has grown. So it's now myself, Yahira, and Camilla. So in an effort to sort of get all of your questions answered, we are changing things up a bit for you. As it comes to the scholarship. We had talked about it a little bit several months ago when we mentioned that we were adding the Ask Us at TheDream.Us email and letting you know that that's where we were starting to have all of our scholars go for their questions versus going to ISTS. And now is the time that we are transitioning that email address to you as well. So if you have anything that you have questions on, whether it's, something that's going on with your ISTS partner college portal, you have questions around the reports. So your applicant report, your PC scholar report, the EVR report. You've got questions around renewals, just kind of all the different little bullet points here. We're asking you to start emailing the Ask Us at TheDream.Us email address. Yahira monitors that inbox for us, but if anything needs to be escalated, it comes directly to me. If it's payment related, EVR related, it's myself and Camilla. So in an effort to make sure that the correct people are getting the questions asked to them, if you go to this one email address, it will get to who it needs to get to on my team. As a quick reminder, there is the top one that talks about the scholarship eligibility, immigration status, GPA, term fundings, things like that. Remember, your PC scholar report has information as to who's eligible, who's not. It's a historical record of everyone that has attended your partner college with our scholarship, and you're able to see everything there. If you need additional details beyond what the report tells you, definitely come to us with those questions. But the PC scholar report has a lot of that information already in there for you. One of the things that I will ask, we don't have it listed here, but I would love if you've got payment questions, EVR questions, things like that, make sure that that's in the subject line so that we know immediately that that's coming to myself and Camilla versus Yahira having to get in there, look at it, and then escalate that one up to us. So several of the things in here, once you receive the tool, have the links in there. So while our scholars have access to the request form when they, deem to ask for a break of enrollment, bridge funding, transferring schools, the link is here as well, just in case you're assisting one of the scholars with it. The link to your partner college portal is there as well. And then one of the other things that we haven't talked just a ton about, but we also have the link on here for information around our graduate loan scholarship. It's usually open during the summer, and it's for anyone who has one of our alumni who have graduated. They're now going into graduate school. They were able to take out a loan for the upcoming academic year, and they can fill out the scholarship application. And in there, what it allows them to do is go ahead and immediately reduce the amount of loan that they've taken out. So if you're, interested in that, or you have scholars that are interested in that, they're able to take out a loan. I highly suggest, clicking on that link, reviewing it, things like that. So again, sort of for all those top bullet points that are listed there, we ask you to come to the Ask Us email address. There are a few scholarship related pieces where we ask you to go to Chris for those. So if you have new staff that has joined that will be taking on any of the roles as a partner college staff, if you have any of the directory updates, so as those new folks are coming on, and then anything related to scholarship recruitment strategies, for those specific pieces, we do ask that you go to Chris for that. Everything else scholarship related, come to us. Chris, back over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that overview, Elena. And with that, I will pass it over to there we go. Pass it over to Nicole for the career piece, except there we go.
All right, thanks, Chris. So my name is Nicole Wesley. For those of you that don't know, I'm the Senior Program Manager of Career Supports. So pretty much everything career related, questions can come to me with one caveat, which I'll discuss in a minute. So if you have any questions as it relates to entrepreneurial career pathways, such as starting a business, independent contracting, or freelancing, questions will come to me. Also, anything that's tax related, including ITINs, independent taxpayer identification numbers, and EINs, employer identification numbers, they will also be directed to me. If you have any questions about our annual summer career series, which always happens over the summer in July, we have typically about 5 or 6 workshops and webinars where we bring in undocumented and immigrant entrepreneurs to talk about career pathways. You are also directed to email me as well. Additionally, and I get these questions often, any questions as it relates to inclusive, mostly paid opportunities like internship and fellowship opportunities, keep those questions coming to me. Those include our internship funding program as well as our fellowship program. We have a good number of partner colleges that have signed up to either one or both of these programs, where essentially you get a good chunk of money, up to $15,000, to create inclusive internship or fellowship opportunities for the TheDream.Us scholars. If you are not already participating in either of these programs, I encourage you to reach out to me after I'm done talking. I'll actually put a link in the chat To learn more about our internship and fellowship program, the deadline to apply for either program is at the end of May, on May 31st. If you have questions about any of our close partners that we work closely with and promote out that we know are inclusive paid opportunities, such as Teach for America's Ignite Fellowship, Dream Summers Fellowship through UCLA's Labor Center, or Parker Dewey, which has a number of micro internships on their platform, as well as any Parker Dewey questions. We partner very closely with them for both our internship and fellowship program. Additionally, which we are excited to be launching soon, one of our past and first Career Connections interns has been helping create an inclusive opportunities directory for our scholars to learn about, apply to during the application cycle. Once we launch that and make it go live, we will obviously share out in a future PC Weekly, but any questions about any of those opportunities, you can also send my way. Lastly, creating inclusive career opportunities. So if you or any of your colleagues on campus are interested in creating inclusive paid internship or fellowship opportunities, or if you're connecting with local community members or organizations that are also interested in creating inclusive paid career opportunities, you can also direct questions to me. The one thing career related that you would direct questions to Chris for would be the PC Career Development Events Fund. So we offer this fund where partner colleges can receive up to $2,000 to host an on-campus career development event that focuses on career development, career opportunities specifically for undocumented students. So if you have any questions about that, you would direct them to Chris. And with that, I will pass it back over to Chris.
Thank you so much for that, Nicole. Now this, of course, I've tried this 1,000 times, and today, because we're presenting it live, the navigation bar here wants to get stuck. Okay, it seems to be taking a few pauses in order to move forward, but so the next piece that we wanted to talk to you about was college success. And so we have really sort of been thinking about the best practices for supporting scholars on campuses. And so this is one of the areas that I have been working closely with some of our partner colleges, and through this platform actually in PC Power Hour, and really uplifting some of those best practices for onboarding students on their campuses, creating community and programming to assist them navigate the college process and their college journeys, and leading into a lot of the work that Nicole is also doing in helping them develop their career pathways, right? So a lot of these college success pieces are under that portion of our website and under my purview. In addition to that, sometimes we have questions regarding the Dream.Us scholarship roles on campuses and what are the expectations for each of those roles. And so that is primarily one of the pieces of why we've also started the new staff onboarding sessions every month, really to get people on the right page when they are starting to work with our scholarship program on their campus, and knowing sort of, again, what is expected from them and how to best support this community on their campus. So any questions like that, you can email me, and I'd be happy to sort of send you information, send you resources, schedule a conversation for us to talk through some of these different programming aspects. In addition to that, I am also overseeing the new scholar welcome this year. That is something that has been passed, the torch has been passed to me. So any questions on any new scholars, their onboarding process, the actual event, we have a series of communications that go out to students leading up to that welcome, with different requirements that they need to do to fully be implemented into the scholarship program. So if scholars or PCs have questions regarding any of those processes that go out, please feel free to reach out to me. We also have a partnership with Modern States, which has developed prep programs that are free and allow students to prepare for CLEP examinations for college credits. In many instances, this is a good way for our scholars to be able to take classes that they've been locked out of, or if they need a few credits to graduate. These are different avenues that may be available to them, and really sort of help them continue to move through their college process without delays and without any sort of additional complications. So if you have any questions regarding the Monash States Partnership, or how students can take advantage of that program, please feel free to let me know. And then in addition to that, we have other access to, Immigrants Rising and other scholarship programs that are available to the undocumented student community. So please feel free to reach out to me if students are inquiring about what additional sources of funding they may be eligible for. All right. We've always had an immigration portion to our sessions, to our programming. Obviously, we have been ramping that up in our current political climate, providing programs like the one I just mentioned, the Dreamers Option Network, our additional resources and services that we are providing our scholars and our alum. In addition to that, we have been also ramping up our immigration Q&A sessions. I am not a lawyer by no means, so I will not be answering those legal questions. But if you have general inquiries regarding either the immigration sessions or immigration resources that you can access, that our students can access, please feel free to reach out to me. I am sort of the point of contact for this scope of work, and we'll be able to put you into contact with either other organizations that are providing resources that we have put together ourselves, and just creating a framework around this space so that you are connected with the information that is going to be most valuable to you at this current time. A lot of questions that we are receiving from students right now are regarding traveling while undocumented. Whether that be domestic air travel or just locally traveling in their state. And so this is a point of contact that is really important for our students right now. And so we have been working and really building out these resources. And so please feel free again to reach out to me if you have questions regarding any of these topics. I'm gonna move on. I swear to God, we're gonna put in some other people here. But lastly, I think for wellness and personal growth is an additional piece that we've been building out in our current political climate. We've been working closely with Cheryl Aguilar, who has been attending our immigration Q&A sessions to provide strategies on how to sort of remain focused and deal with the added stresses and anxieties of our current climate. She's put together a video, and we are looking at ways in which we may continue to build out this scope of support for our scholars. This is really important for the mental health professionals on your campus to know the resources that are specific to working with this population on your campus. So please stay connected with me if you want resources, if you want to be connected with Cheryl, if you're looking for training sessions, anything around mental wellness and support. We can definitely work together in putting these connections on your campus in order to better support our students. And then finally, on my part, our graduate school resources. Our students remain interested in advanced degrees and continuing their educational journeys. We have multiple partnerships and programs in place. We have a partnership with Kaplan Test Prep, which provides a multitude of test prep programs from GRE, LSATs, MCATs, nursing, education, just a large gamut of their prep programs and courses free to our scholars and alumni. These are like really expensive courses, so we really value the partnership we have with Kaplan in order to make these resources available to our students for free. In addition to that, we also have a 50% GRE discount voucher where students can get that discount if they're looking to take the GRE for a graduate program. As we mentioned before, we will be doing graduation stalls every year. As Elena mentioned, we do have a graduate loan scholarship program, which is specific for those who have already taken out a graduate loan. But we also have sort of connections or are talking in communications with different lenders who are also building out programs specifically right now for DACA and TPS students who would qualify for a graduate loan at a sort of reasonable, sort of comparable rate that students would receive in the sort of like regular federal graduate loan. And so for any information on that, please feel free to reach out. And then finally, we have additional graduate resources on our website. So if students are specifically interested in going to law school or other means of funding their graduate requests or opportunities, you can feel free to reach out to me. I do want to also know anything that is underlined on this presentation is a live link. So you will be able to click the link and go on to our website and receive information on anything that, specifically anything that is underlined on this presentation. So you'll have that also available through this presentation and be able to access this information on our website. And so with that, I will pass it off to my colleague Fermin, who will talk about our communications.
Thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone. My name is Fermin Vasquez. I'm the Director of Communications and Strategic Engagement for TheDream.Us. For those that don't know, we have a Facebook group, private Facebook group for our scholars, and we also have a Facebook group for our partner colleges. So you can reach out to me if you want to be added to those resources. Also for any promotional materials around the scholarship. I also manage our social media, as well as, you know, any stories that we share out to the public, right, about our scholars. One of the things that we really want to do is humanize the immigration debate and share out stories with folks and our partners. One of the best ways to keep in touch with us is through social media. We have our social media channels, which are Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I'll share the links directly here on the chat right now. But that's a really good way. We're constantly putting updates out there. We're sharing content, reposting content of additional resources from other organizations. So that's one of the really best ways for y'all to stay in touch with us. And one of the things that we want to build out, right, it's is to create the echo chamber of stories and letting people know who we are and the resources that we have so that other folks can take advantage of the opportunities. So definitely we want y'all to be liking, sharing, commenting. That goes a long way in trying to get our message out there of who we are, what we do, and all the great work that everyone here is doing. In addition to that, do want to kind of also talk about we work with traditional media outlets, including TV, print outlets, and we have an organization, we have a communications firm that focuses on that. They're called MP Agency. They're based in Washington, D.C. So for any questions related to press, you can reach out to Michael, who works with us on answering a lot of the traditional press and even connecting to campus newspapers on your campuses. If there's any request for a media interview or you would want to talk to an expert, we can definitely make those connections happen. So that's it on my part. Yeah, you have my contact information if you have any questions. Passing it over to Sylvia. I think it's next.
Thank you, Fermin. I'm Sylvia Wong, the Chief Development Officer at TheDream.Us. Please share my contact information in this slide with the development colleagues at your college. I would love to work more closely with the development teams in our partner colleges to make sure that we have continued to have sustained funding for all of our scholars. We have 4,500 scholars each year that are currently enrolled across the country, which is a lot of money to raise for our scholarships. But we have had a lot of generous individuals that have enabled us to do this work. And we have such amazing data on our scholars. And so I am preparing some decks and some toolkits of sorts to share. So more to come with all of you, just to empower development teams to be able to use your data, personalize them for your campus, and to reach out to people locally in your area to get support for our scholars, and not just our scholars, but dreamers at your school. So my email's on this slide. I'm Sylvia. Please reach out to me at any point and share my information with development colleagues on campus and ask them to reach out to me as a resource, and happy to connect and to brainstorm ideas and to share more and do some co-fundraising with you all. That's it on my part, and I'll toss it to Maria.
Thank you, Sylvia. Hi, everyone. My name is Maria Vanegas. I am the Chief Financial Officer at TheDream.Us. So you have my contact information here. You can contact me if there is a need for any copies of the current MOU or the partnership agreement, or if there is a request on your campus to review that MOU or make any changes or update it. I am the person to follow up with. So you can send me an email and I'll be happy to work with you or anyone near campus regarding our partnership and our legal agreement. Okay, so I'm going to pass it over to Chris.
Thank you, everyone, for those overviews. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because that is sort of the length of our inquiry map. We have roughly about 10 minutes left in this session, and as always, we'd love to open the floor for an open forum for questions, comments, remarks, anything you all want to share. Please feel free to raise your hand and we will be able to unmute you so that we will be able to hear your inquiries or your comments, or again, just make sure that we are having a proper discourse in the work that we are all doing.